Okay, in the following video, I'm going to walk through the basic components and setup instructions for operating Geonics' new EM38Lite, which is a drone-based soil conductivity meter based on the EM38 ground-based system. So this is the EM38Lite. As you can see, it's a lighter body version. The main control panel has an on-off switch. You can connect by serial cable connection. You can power with an external battery, or at a convenience, a regular 9-volt lithium battery. And then we have controls for quad phase and in-phase calibration. The battery, as you can see, is a simple LEMO connection. You line up the red dot and you plug it in. Remove it just to show you. You line it up, so it's now in. Now the first step with the instrument would be to just power it on. Now with the drone-based system, as for calibrating the instrument, it's pre-calibrated at our offices, but since you do not have a real-time visual to calibrate it, the zeroing procedure is actually quite easy with the drone, because instead of using a calibration monopod at 1.5 meters above the ground, the drone is going to fly several meters off the ground. So prior to your survey, what you should do is, of course, collect data stationary with the instrument hanging in one spot for about a minute. And so after the survey is conducted and completed, you'll be able to tell in the data file, in the profile of the data, what the baseline should be, and you will subtract that out, and that will be the base level. Okay, so most important now would be the setup and how to collect data with the instrument. To do that, these are the components. Now, of course, you see a mouse and a monitor, which are not going to be used on the actual drone. The only components that will be attached with the drone that are actually collecting data will be the pocket computer, pocket PC, which needs to be powered with the power pack. But for now, to get things going, you need to turn on and power the computer. You need to start the data acquisition software and at least have it set and answer all the prompts to have it ready to collect data. Once you've done that, you can disconnect the computer from the monitor, and all you're left with is the logging software on the mini pocket PC, which is actually collecting the data with the unit. So for now, let's just walk through the components. So this layout is all modular so that we can actually set up the logging software. So we're recreating having a full computer here, obviously. Okay, so let's go through the components. First of all, we have an independent GPS here, which will turn on. You can see the lights flashing. Now this GPS is already set to communicate via Bluetooth with this particular pocket PC, and the COM port is preset, as we'll see in a moment. The pocket PC computer here, you can see the on-off switch there, but we need to power it. So we have the power cable, right, connected to our 5-volt power supply. Now the 5-volt power supply is also powering the monitor for now. And the monitor has to, of course, be connected to your computer, just like on a desktop, to the computer. So you have your HDMI cable going to the computer. You have your power cable also powering the computer for now, temporarily. Now, we have to turn the power on, of course. It's not on yet. just waiting for the lights to appear so we know power's on. That'll take a few seconds. And there you go. You can see the lights are powering. We know there's power to the monitor now. There should be power to the computer as well. And there's a little light by my thumb here that is not on yet because the computer is not on. So we need to turn the computer power on with the power on switch on the side here. So we'll turn that on. And you'll see the little blue light that indicates the power of the computer is on. And the other way to, of course, know the computer's on is your monitor now is coming on. So the next step is we have a keypad, which is also connected by Bluetooth, which will open up and it'll make a connection. It's making a connection with the computer as well. So we'll use the mouse to go here. Now Geonics will preset the computer access code. So you need to enter a password, which is written on the back of the Pocket PC, and the pin number is 1962. So we go to the password, type in 1962. And we now have access to the computer. Now we need to run the logging software, which is EM38 Mark II Win. Double click on that. That opens up the logging software, which is the same logging software used for the ground-based system. Now you'll note COM ports here for the instrument. We have, right now, the COM port for the instrument is set to COM 5, EM38 COM 5 COM port. On different units, it may be a different COM port, but this unit, it's COM 5. The GPS port is communicating with COM 4. Now the GPS is on. Just to confirm that everything is working with the GPS, we go to GPS monitoring, click on that, and you should see the NEMA string flowing. And so that confirms the GPS is working. So we can pause that, get back into the logging software. And in the logging software now, we should be ready to instigate logging. So I click logging. The instrument was turned on, right? The EM38Lite is powered on. So we got to come back to the instrument, of course, to power the instrument on first so that the Bluetooth signal can start working. So we power the instrument on. And back to the software. Now we click on logging and it should connect to the Bluetooth of the instrument, and we should have the logging screen appear. And there we go. And of course we have, this is the logging screen. And we see the 1 meter conductivity reading 145 or so, half meter conductivity reading 159 or so, which is all reasonable, and the in-phase readings. You also see the lat long, the GPS is working and recording, so that's working. Now, at this point, at this stage, you want to set up a file name prior to commencing your data acquisition. So let's click on data file. And by default, Geonics uses the date. You can put any name you wish for the file. We'll leave the date for now. We'll have it save it here. Now, as soon as it creates that file, you'll notice that the options on screen change and are now ready to actually collect data. So if you're ready to begin data collection, at this point, you probably have your drone all hooked up and pretty much ready to go, except for the data acquisition software, which is still over here. So we have to tell the computer to start collecting data. So we'll click on go, and it is now collecting data, as you can see on screen. Okay? You can see the data as you normally would with a ground-based system collecting data. And the EM38Lite has readings of about 149, 160. Just a flat line because the instrument is just sitting there on the ground for our setup purposes. Now at this point, you're going to disconnect the monitor from the computer. Disconnect the monitor from the computer, there, right? And now we're also going to disconnect the power from the monitor to the computer, which is this one. Don't disconnect the power to the computer or it'll stop logging data. Right now, the data logging software is still collecting data. So, at this point, these are the components that will go on the drone, including the GPS. So you have the GPS along with the computer and the power supply. So you will take those with you. As these will all be mounted right on the drone. However best you want to do that. Now, since we don't have a drone here today, I'm just going to walk with the instrument and just to show what the data does after, to confirm that it was collecting data, okay? So here we go. So in theory, let's just say the drone has now returned, landed, and you want to make sure that the data was collected. We need to hook everything back up. So the GPS we can leave here. Leave the GPS. We need to reconnect. We need to reconnect the monitor to power and also for signal. So I'll need 2 hands for this. Hold on 1 second. So I've reconnected the monitor in terms of its signal to the computer, but now it needs power. So we have to connect the power. And power is connected to the monitor. So now we have the monitor is powered again. The monitor's powered again, and we have the signal from the computer going. So we just reconfirming that data is still being collected, which means there was no breakage in the data collection while the drone was doing its thing and flying. So at this point, you know, you should feel very confident that data has been collected, and you can stop the software and of course continue to download the data and process it as you always would do with regular ground-based data. So hopefully this setup and walking through this setup will give you a better understanding of how to connect all the individual components to set up your EM38Lite survey. Once again, the only items that will be on the drone once everything is set to collect data is the computer, which is the Pocket PC right here, and it just needs to be powered with the power pack, and you connect the GPS onto that. That's it.